Believe me, nobody is crying over Saddam Hussein. Nobody is going to cry over any Arab leader. But the problem is, it's really degrading to an Arab to watch another Arab capital ransacked.
Did we ransack the capital?
You bombed the hell out of Baghdad.
We bombed the hell out of Baghdad with the most precision munitions in the world. We could save a lot of money. We could have bought, what, 100 normal bombs, what we pay for one of the precision bombs. They were incredibly accurate.
Those precision bombs killed so many civilians, my friends.
Compared to the carpet bombing of Germany, the carpet bombing of Tokyo.
I mean, the number of civilians killed, I mean, it is no justification. When a viewer sees that, see, the bombing of Dresden was before the days of television. Since Vietnam, the picture has changed. And now in the Arab world, of course, we've come to discover the wonders of television much later than the rest of the world. And when you see the massacres in Palestine and how people are butchered, the idea of another Arab capital occupied is really fueling anger.
Truth ultimately finds its way to people's ears and eyes and hearts. And I don't worry about that over the long term. Does it make me sad to see television saying things that are flat not true, and people printing things in that part of the world that's flat not true? Children being taught things that are flat not true? Yes, it bothers me.
Rumsfeld called this incitement. I call it true journalism. The only true journalism in the world. Nothing else. At 6:21, I received a phone call from our correspondent in Baghdad saying that there's a big fight around our office in Baghdad. So I put them on air live, and we heard everything, all the fighting going on, but none of our correspondents was able to go on top of the roof so as to be with us live, because they said it was too dangerous. But they said if we can sneak out, we can try to manage it. At 6:47, the camera that was filming got stuck with the picture of Tariq Ayoub on the roof.
شيل الكاميرا، شيلها عن طارق، طلعها على الجو. طلع الكاميرا على الجو، على المكان التقليدي، على
I shouted at them, telling them to move the camera out of the face of this guy because he has nothing to do with the event, the fighting. And they moved the camera.
كمان كيف الصورة عندك الآن تحت شايف؟
10 minutes later, I was on the phone with the other correspondent, and he said there's a plane turning over us, and now it's coming towards us, and he said, picking down, nose down, which means formation of attack. And the American plane came and launched the missiles against our office. And the explosion killed Tariq Ayoub. When you announce that one of your staff was hurt, you expect phone calls from the families of all these reporters and cameramen. We received only one phone call from the wife of Tariq Ayoub saying, "What happened to Tariq?" We told her, "We didn't say it's Tariq." She said, "I know, my heart tells me it's Tariq, and something happened to him." What can you say, tell her? So was a hell of morning. Everybody was crying. Then you can see their tears coming in, except me. I managed to stay firm and not to cry because it's too easy. For me, that was a crime that should be avenged, or at least investigated.
Jim, as you can well imagine, with 200 journalists inside this room and the military standing at the podium, the question of the day was about 3 incidents. The strike against Al Jazeera in the very early hours of the morning, followed by a strike against Abu Dhabi television, followed by the shot that was fired at the Palestine Hotel. These were questions that were repeated several times, different variations, but basically the same answer from the military, that the battlefield is a dangerous place. The only nearly safe position is of the embedded reporters with coalition troops. Asked about what could journalists do to surrender, whether they should put white sheets out of the rooms or whatever, they said basically that you shouldn't be in this location.
In the run-up to this war, the Pentagon repeatedly warned journalists that they should not be in Baghdad because precisely this kind of thing would arise. Now, some might argue, some cynics might argue, that they simply didn't want us there watching while a particularly bloody episode at the end of this war unfolded.
What's a journalist's take on what happened in Baghdad today?
When you talk about killing 3 journalists with 3 separate strikes, journalists tend to stick together, and just like soldiers stick together. I wonder how those 2 houses and why they were targeted, the Abu Dhabi and Al Jazeera. Were they taking fire? I didn't get my question answered.
Omar, the Americans are releasing a statement that says, according to commanders on the ground, coalition forces came under significant enemy fire from the building where Al Jazeera journalists were working, and consistent with the inherent right of self-defense, coalition forces returned fire. Sadly, an Al Jazeera correspondent was killed in the exchange. I've just faxed it to you on your fax, so it should be there now. Give it to the producers. Okay? All right, good. Bye.
The first objective of sending these missiles on the offices of Al Jazeera is to tell Al Jazeera, you're not siding 100% with us against Saddam Hussein, so we are going to punish you. We are sending these missiles on you to kill people. Okay? We have received the message. We acknowledge the receipt of this message.
If we really wanted to shut down media coverage, our army of tens of thousands could do it. And we electronically jam or do whatever we want to do. But if the end is what they want, is to shut down they want to turn the media off. I mean, by firing into a group of journalists, you turn the media up. So I don't think so. I don't think so.
We cannot compete with the United States of America. We are a tiny channel in a tiny country. What can we do? We just shut up and try to go on, do our job. That's it.
Welcome, colleagues, and thank you for attending what is a grave period for us all, I believe. Our late Tariq lived and died for his and our professional integrity. Let's hope it wasn't all in vain. I think we're open for questions now. The lady over there.
Thank you. I'm Ann Bernard from the Boston Globe newspaper in the U.S. and as a journalist, I'm sorry for what's happened. What I wanted to know is what is the latest communication you've had with representatives of the U.S.? Are you satisfied with their apology? Was there an apology?